do then. But mind you, I'm only posting certain things. I still got the videos. If we talking about receipts, my receipts is long. So it's just like, okay. So it's just like, oh, all right. So you at first you weren't cool with it, but then she ended up being okay with it. So your question was it too soon? I don't think so, because I feel like it was genuine between us. Like it wasn't no ill will, you know. So
because I did see a click. I did see a thing.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Button 91. We're talking to you guys part 2, and we're saying, how did it go so wrong? How did it go so wrong between Jojo and Julius? And I'm going to give you a little bit more of a backstory in terms of the situation, and hopefully give it a bit more filler into what actually happens here. Because you see, when we're dealing with relationships, what we need to understand is that relationships can start off really well, and something can happen, it triggers people, and when people are insecure in their attachments, it can go all the way wrong. So I went back to watch the video that they did. I haven't watched it yet. So the original video that they did a month ago, and I saw the energy is completely different. The energy a month ago was completely different. So in a month's time, or even a bit 2 months time, because obviously when they filmed it, the catch up, something has happened. Some things have happened, which we know obviously they speak about. But how do we get to a point where we're at where we're at? And that is because oftentimes there are things that people do that trigger one another. And when we're not honest, and when we're not conversing and talking about how we really, really feel and what's really in our hearts, things get messed up. So don't change over the channel. I know I'm turning up the heat, but don't turn away. Stay hydrated. You know what I'm saying to you? Let's get into this video and not waste much time. Like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for notification uploads, okay? Today we're talking about what went wrong between the Jojo and the Julius situation. Let's play the original video from back from him. We're going to listen to what he's going to say.
I was like, yeah, what part? And it ended up being like 10 minutes from where she stayed. Yeah. So I ended up telling Jojo, like, look, I got to load to California. I love the conversations that we had. I want to see you. So she actually had plans with her friends, but she shortened up her day for me to come see her. So, you know, I was in the truck. Oh, man, I'm driving nonstop to get to LA. So when I get to LA, initially we were just going to go chill at her house. Okay. So I ended up saying like, nah, I want to go do something because I know she want to go out and do stuff. So I ended up made reservations. So I ended up telling her, like, look, I made reservations. Be ready at 9:45. Energy. I'm talking about she FaceTimed me quick.
No. See, something went wrong. You see, something went wrong. Because look what we're getting here. He is just as liking her now as he was liking in his new video. She's talking about energy. That's the energy she wants to see. So in the beginning, this is working. Something's going right, right? The energy he's giving is not a problem, which is why I said to you, we need to cut that chat about people are falling in love too quickly, because it's never falling in love too quickly. You're falling in love too much with someone else, right? It depends on the person. When someone's ready for you, they don't mind the speed because they're ready for you. People who are not ready for that speed are not ready for that speed. It's just that simple. And so you won't look right for that person. But the reality of the situation is, it is for that person. They're not ready for you. Because I've seen ninjas move fast. I've seen ninjas move very, very fast when they come to a girl that they find attractive and like. I've seen girls move very fast when they like a guy too. When you like someone, you move at some speed. You're prepared. When you don't, you like to slow it down.
After I told her that, she FaceTimed me instantly with a big Kool-Aid smile. Like, oh, where are we going? And I was like, look, it's a surprise, you know, just like I said, just dress as if you're going on the first date. She started talking in warm and cold, like, okay, period. I was like, okay, cool. So you know, so that whole day was cool. So I ended up getting to LA. I got to her house, we chilled. She went out with her friends, she came back, and then we ended up getting ready together. And then I took her to the tallest rooftop. The tallest rooftop in LA. Okay. So we went there and had another amazing night, and so I love every minute, like every second. Like, man, I think about this girl all the time. So yeah, I'm locked in with her. Yeah.
Right now, look at the energy. He says, I think about her all the time. Again, her feet are swinging. Okay, all right. So things were going well. Okay, things were seemingly going well. Okay, things were seemingly going well. Okay, now the reality of the situation is, what we don't see about relationships is when the goodness fades and fear sets in. So when the honeymoon phase begins to be interrupted by the fears that we actually carry, that's where relationships get the static, right? Think about yourself. If you're somebody who has, and most of you are not secure, you know you're not. Okay, that's why we're here. We're not secure. Most of us, we're in the insecure category. I know you don't want to admit it. Some of you are dismissive, fearful, avoidant, and anxious. So the rest of you who are secure, thank God. But those of you who have been insecure, you know what I'm talking about, right? You have an insecure attachment. You know there's a moment where you start dating someone, where you start thinking, depending on your attachment style, right? John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, depending on that attachment style, what you start thinking in that fashion, right? If you're dismissive avoidant, you start flaw finding. What flaws have you got? What issues have you got? You start being hypercritical about everything. If you're fearful avoidant, you start feeling like the person's getting too close, or maybe they're spending too much time with you, or you know what, I ain't got enough autonomy, or you know they're gonna betray me, or they're gonna reject me at moments, and I shouldn't say too much because they might not like who they really see. Then you got anxious people who then start to speed up the process even more because they're feeling like you might be pulling away from them, and like they want to make sure that actually if something changes, oh no, I really like you, did it, and they might do a little bit, quote unquote, might do a little bit too much, as we say, quote unquote, might put on more pressure, you know what I'm saying to you, right? And try to earn your love by doing even more things. Either way, one of those attachment styles in that space that when the fear starts kicking, right, it starts hitting in the honeymoon phase. And then suddenly you start looking at things and you're like, oh. And it can hit you quickly. All it takes is one thing to trigger you. And I'm saying the honeymoon phase because the honeymoon phase lasts normally 2 years. It can last from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. They didn't even get 4 months, which tells me this: the fears that they're carrying are very heavy. But also, there was something that they both saw that triggered them. So when you're triggered and you're triggered, your fear begins to kick up, and then you fall back into survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you go back to what you know best. Okay? You go back to what you know best. You go back to what you know as your survival techniques, right? For dismissive avoidance, you start pulling away, you start asking for more space, you start being dismissive. For fearful avoidance, you start seeing as hot and cold. They want you 1 minute, the next minute they don't. The next minute they're up, the next minute they're down. Suddenly they're pulling away. Then they want to pull closer to you when you pull them in, and it's all mayhem. Then you got anxious people. Suddenly, they're all over you and they want all your time. And now they're complaining about the fact you don't give them enough space, you don't give them enough time. You don't give them enough of your energy, whatever it is. And what you'll realize is this: simply put, the fear has begun to kick in. Okay, the fear has kicked in, and because nobody feels safe. And this is why I said to you, the antidote to not feeling safe is truth. Jesus said it best. He said, the truth shall set you free. Okay? The truth shall set you free. The truth in a relationship will always set you free. You see, that's what I said to you about jealousy, envy, anger. Whenever you start talking it out and saying, actually, this is how I actually feel. And look, most of us are afraid of that. When we say how we feel, the person can't handle how we feel. I spoke about this on Monday when I did my Christian content. A lot of us are afraid of that. When we tell the truth about how we really feel, the other person can't handle it. They'll use it against us. And kind of Julius kind of did use some of the things that she had said against him, to be honest. So he ain't doing well there. Okay. So, in that space, right, people have their fears. Okay. So let's look into this.
Yeah, I'm like that with it.
Look at that. He's coming with the energy.
And that's why I'm sticking around.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why she's what? Sticking around. The energy. She likes what he's giving, what he's bringing. So it was working at first.
So how was that, getting that call? Like, I'm coming to LA, did all this stuff. Like, you didn't even know he was going to plan all this. So
No.
How was it, like, seeing all this come to play?
It, like you said, I feel like it was like meant to be for us to like really connect.
Uh-huh.
And I was just real excited. That's why like she FaceTimed me immediately. I did, because I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Again, she FaceTimed him immediately. She was excited. She loved the fact that he was on it. He loved the fact that he was purposeful. Intentional. Loved the fact that he was putting actual effort in. Okay? She liked that. Right? Which is not a problem. Okay? Which is not a problem. Again.
And I love his energy. I was like, he just texted me like, I made a reservation tomorrow at 9:45. I'm like, oh, okay.
Say less.
You on your way? Okay. I'll be there. I'll be ready. What I gotta wear.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I can't even get my
You can't
emotions
get the
in
words
words,
out,
but
yeah.
I feel good about the whole situation.
Good. So how was that date? Like, when you guys, once you got there, all that's like, did he tell you guys where you were going beforehand, or he just drove you there and you saw where you were going?
No, yeah, it wasn't until we like got
Until you got there.
Yeah.
Oh, and how'd it go?
It was nice. The place was nice. The food was good. The drinks was good. Like,
Good.
and our conversation was good.
Okay. So where are you guys today? Like, what's the next plan?
Look how they're both smiling and giggling. Look at it. Let me tell you something. It was going well. It was going well. Okay? It was going well. Okay, it was going really, really well. It was going well. Something's going to happen.
Oh, I want to hear from you. Look, she's trying to run away from Sonia. You see her?
The next plan is, well, we've been going out while we've been here because I had this trip planned for my birthday. And he came, which it was going to be a solo trip. So I'm glad he joined.
Yeah.
Now, this is really important. It was going to be a solo trip. How many women do you know that go on solo trips? No, I'm not. Listen, I know some of you do. I'm using it to make a story to make you understand what's going on. Okay, people do go on solo trips. Don't get twisted. But she was she went where she went to. She went on a solo trip, and that's why he was able to come on a trip with her. Well, come to the restaurant and everything that he took her to by herself on her birthday. Now, I'm a soloist. I will go on a holiday by myself as well. But guess what? I'm somebody who's recovering from their dismissive avoidancy. Right? People who like doing solo trips, usually like their own company, usually have that dismissive, that avoidant trait. And it's usually not fearful avoidance. On this one, I'm going to allow the fearful avoidance. It's a dismissive people usually. Because fearful avoidance carry the anxiousness, so they want both. They get anxious, so they need someone to go around them. But it's the dismissive people that are soloists. Okay? All right? It is the dismissive people that usually are soloists. They will go somewhere by themselves. Go to the shops. Go and do this. Go and do that. Go and do that by themselves. Right? And it's because the way they attach to people, it's easier to be alone than it is to be with other people. Right? So the fact that she was there by herself, I said, we might have some avoidancy here. And I'm only using that because I know what we watched in the first video where she spoke about some certain issues, and I was like, yeah, that does sound no, it doesn't mean exactly that it's straight away that you're dismissive if you go on solo trips. But if you go a lot of solo trips, yeah, you might want to consider the fact that you're a bit of a dismissive person. Okay, check it out. All right.
And he's been making it better. So
good. Yeah. Have you guys done it? What have you done so far since you've been out here?
We went to the Grand Canyon. We went out to eat a couple times.
Okay. Yes, we gotta eat.
We love food. We just came from brunch before coming over here.
Yes.
So, and then we're doing something tomorrow. He got a surprise for my birthday, y'all.
Yeah, her birthday's tomorrow.
A man with plans.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We love that. Like, yeah.
How was the Grand Canyon? I've lived here years and I have not gone.
It was cool. It was nice to see.
Is it worth it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do
at
when you
least
get there?
Once.
What do you do?
These two, look at this, kissing up on the canyon, up in each other's grills, enjoying each other. Okay, yeah, listen, I love it. You know what I'm saying? They're in good energy. Okay, all right. And Nonbook said, again, it is not a guarantee that someone is a dismissive. What we're talking about is when we're talking about attachment styles. We're talking about attachment styles and saying that when we talk about attachment styles, oftentimes it's dismissive people that tend to be alone. And many people think that I'm just good at, I love being in my own company. Check it properly. See how you actually attach. Those of us who love being on our own, there is an attachment issue also, normally that's usually there. And some of us have healed, but we still carry the attachment style. We still carry some of those traits where we love to be on our own. So if you're somebody who loves to be on their own and go on solo trips by their own, maybe you're an exception. Maybe you're not dismissive. And that's okay. You may not be. But most of us, they know. They know who they are. They deal with the relationships the exact same way. They know.
You just look at the whole bunch of
take a whole bunch of pictures.
Okay. Oh my God. So did you invite him to join you on this trip, or he was just like, you know what?
It was a part of the conversation, that first group date.
Okay.
I was like, I'm actually coming back out here for my birthday. And he was like, you mind if I tag along? I'm like, okay, I don't mind. Yeah. But I didn't know if he was for real until he was for real.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay, you can come.
Nice. Okay. Well, it sounds like you don't play no games.
No games.
No games.
Well, the reason why I wouldn't play no games because it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not the type of person that say like, oh, you believe in love at first sight. But when I went into that room, because I was nervous going into that room, everybody looking at you. I was never the type of guy that be center of attention. Everybody looking at you, trying to see what you're gonna say. So I had a lot of nerves going on. But when I locked eyes with her, I promised to God, it felt like everybody else in the room disappeared, and I had like a sense of calmness. Like damn. So I already knew who I was gonna go for.
Good.
Everybody else getting your balloon pop. So I was like, everybody's getting your balloon pop. So it was just like, man, like this girl is dope, man.
Yeah.
So I really feel like it's a blessing. So the more we start spending time with each other and the more we start hanging out, I'm like, this ain't just my match on the show. This is my match in real life. Like, so it's just like, so I got to put the energy out, let her know that I'm serious. So that was my energy with her. Yeah. And actually, like, we was dating, we started off dating, and then we went to exclusive.
So listen, this brother has been upfront from the very beginning. He's been very intentional. Okay, all right. He's been very intentional from the very beginning. You know, that brother is straight away that he's in something. Okay, and that's why I said that. And thank you, Lee, for putting that as well, because there's a reason why she questioned it though. Because again, like I said, when we're having this insecure attachments, right? His forward movement would have caused her to want to pull back. Now that's an avoidance response. And I'm being very careful not to choose dismissal or fearful, because I don't have enough information to be able to decide which side she's on. But that energy that she's giving, that when someone puts that energy forward to say, I actually like you, I want you, I'm intentional, I'm forward. The reason why I said that this is a two-pronged situation is because that person has to read it, apply a meaning, and see if they're ready for what you're bringing, right? So if somebody's intentional from the very jump, right? He was intentional. The reality of the situation is that she may not have been comfortable with how much intentionality he was, because maybe she wasn't convinced the same way he was. Now, what that needed was a conversation. This brother has trucked over, come to LA, come over. And again, this doesn't mean he's innocent. This doesn't mean that he is not a problem. But what it's telling you is that there are two sides of the story that we really need to be able to deal with. Okay? So the reality of the situation is, right, that his speed wasn't her speed. It needed a conversation. That's all. Look, my first ever girlfriend, shout out to her, she's married, so I'm not trying to shout or anything, but one of my first ever girlfriends, you know, I think I told her I loved her in like the first 2 weeks, and she told me I'm not there. But I had liked her for a very long time. The first time I ever met this girl, I said, this girl's too fire. If I ever get a chance to date her, I swear to God. Right? So when I finally got to date her, the first 2 weeks I was in. Told her, listen, I can't lie to you, I love you. You know what I'm saying? She was like, hey, can I be honest with you? And I really respect this as well. She's like, hey, can I be honest with you? I'm not there yet. I like you, but I'm not there yet. And I said, fair play. That's how I feel. Right? So in that space, what she did was let me know she's not there yet. And I don't have to jump off the balcony. I just be like, okay, cool. Like, I hear it. You know what I'm saying? Now I was sweating inside. I can't lie to you. My insides were burning. But outwardly, I said, listen, it's okay, it's cool. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But it's again about, it's again about the fact that it takes two to tango. If I'm coming fast, sorry for the pun, but if I'm going fast, right, your objective is to say, hey, do you know what? You're going a bit fast for me. How do I know if you don't tell me? If you keep going along with it, you now become complicit in it. So if I don't know, I'm going to keep going until you tell me, right? And that's why grown adults, mature people emotionally are able to have that conversation because they realize, okay, hold on, wait a minute. I see you, I like you, right? But I want you to slow it down a little bit so that we can get to a good place, right? That's what people who are emotionally mature start doing. It's like, hey, I see you, I like you. And if I don't like you, then I'm going to leave it. But if I do like you, okay, cool. Let's just slow it down a little bit. I'm not there yet. But some of us will feel fear and we won't tell the truth. We won't say anything. We'll keep quiet, right? We'll try to be passive aggressive about it rather than being assertive about, hey, this is how I feel. Now, again, neither of them are doing anything wrong at this moment, but we're just having a conversation.
We dating, and if she tell me like, oh, well, we not really serious until you ask me out. And I really think it's that time to really ask her, like, Jojo, would you be my girlfriend? Like, I really feel like this could go.
Hold on a minute. She said, listen, it's not really serious until you ask me out. So where are we? So the speed, if she does have a problem, if she does have a problem with the speed, she's not telling us, and she ain't telling him. If she has a problem with the speed, she's not telling us and she's not telling him, which means more than likely we are a passive aggressive type of communicator, right? If she's comfortable, then something happened after we became boyfriend and girlfriend. Or maybe something happened before that, we've been allowing certain things to go on, etc., etc.
Further than just being in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, like, I really see you as my wife in the future. I'm asking you right here, right now, like, would you be my girlfriend?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. She didn't even waste time. She didn't even think about it. The brother said, listen, would you be my girlfriend? She said, absolutely yes. But the girl didn't even waste time. She didn't even waste time. So at this point, something's going right. Enough for her to say yes into this relationship. Right? At this point, something is going right at this time. You know what I'm saying? Just I just saw myself and I was looking handsome. Something's going right at this time. Okay? All right?
We locked in, twin. We locked in. Yeah.
Oh my god. She's so.
Locked in.
Oh my god.
Look, you got her so speechless. She has no words.
Literally.
This is so beautiful, you guys. Like, and this is really what the show is about. This is why we do what we do. Like, because we know there's a lot of people out there who going on the show, you're really putting yourself out there in a way that you've never had before. So to be able to meet somebody while doing that is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear about the surprise you got.
Now, it's funny how Arlette is more excited than our good sis. Now, I don't think the reason why she's not as excited, okay, is that she's not excited. I think, and I said this yesterday about emotional safety, that even your excitement will be contained. Like when you are not happy, when you're not comfortable in emotions, even the good emotions will become a problem, right? Anybody here, if you have problems with your emotions, you know, okay, you know the trouble that you have when it comes to emotions. That even when it comes to good emotions, even when it comes to joy and happiness, you can get excited to a point, but you're like, let me not do too much. Okay, let me not do too much. And so what you'll realize is when people are very contained, even as we see her body language is very contained. And so that ability to express oneself may be very difficult for her. And this is not to blame her. This is to say that also we're going to deal with him in the next video because I'm only giving this side of it. So when we do the next part of the video, we can actually begin to assess where he's also going wrong, right? And see where, nothing go wrong, but things we can point out that may have contributed towards the downfall of this relationship.
Planned. I can't wait to see it. Yep. Whatever it is for her birthday, like it's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be so good.
I know it.
Like any final thoughts from either one of you? How the show went? How it's been getting noticed? Whatever it is, whatever you want to say.
I'm just taking it back.
Look, you just threw her off. You asked her to be your girlfriend. Okay, she has no words.
Because it's been since 2016.
Oh,
so
yeah, you did say that on the show.
Yeah, but with him,
it's easy.
I can do it.
Yeah.
And
so again, since 2016, she said, and then she said, since 2016, but with him, I can do it. Which means something's going right again. Why am I saying this again? I'm saying this, I want to put this out here because I want you to understand that they were going somewhere. That's why if you see the comments on that video, everybody's like, he's so intentional. I love the two of them together. I love the energy, blah, 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 blah. But again, she's mentioned here about 2016. And you know that in the next video, what does he say? He says that, you know what, it wasn't 2016. Now, that is a part of the information that probably made him act the way he did. And it doesn't mean it's an excuse. It means this is the reason why people are acting the way they do. Because when they find out new information, they get scared. Because a lot of us get scared because we don't know how to proceed forward. We're already assuming the worst. We have a narrative in our head that's the worst. And I can tell you the truth. Listen, it's been a gradual journey trying to unlearn that process, that not everything leads to the worst scenario. But that's insecurity. Insecurity will lead you to the worst scenario that you have usually. And a lot of us do it.
Oh, yeah, now that you brought that up, like, how has it been? Because, you said since 2016 you haven't really been in a relationship. Has it been, like, difficult to get back into the flow? It doesn't seem like it. Like,
I've dated in between. It's just, it never goes, like, to that official mark. Like, it's always something. Sometimes me, sometimes them, but it just hasn't happened.
Oh,
so,
well, it happened. It happened. It happened. Oh my gosh! Any final thoughts on your end?
Final thoughts? Nah, it's just like the people that's like tuned in with us that want to see the journey. I will be posting like YouTube videos of our journey.
Yes.
Like I'm not gonna be fake. I'm gonna be real transparent. So if we argue anything, like I gotta be transparent.
Putting it out there.
I gotta be transparent. So yeah, it's just like follow us with the journey. We're gonna post on YouTube and yeah.
We'll be watching.
Yes.
Oh well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Appreciate that.
I'm so happy.
They seem both very genuine to me. Can I be honest with you? They both seem very genuine to me. I think the reality of the situation, something happened. Okay? All right? Something happened. Okay? Something went wrong. And I say that in the sense of people were not safe in their relationships. Okay? So let's play a little bit more of the clip. I'm going to go and break down. We're going to go on this part now.
I think it's a clickbait that you did as well.
Exactly.
I think it was on her birthday. You said, is it all
The energy is already different. Like, both of you are pissed.
between me and Jojo or something like that?
No, that wasn't no clickbait. If you really like, I had to cut stuff out because she didn't want to look crazy. She really like Because like mind you, like she the girls in your DM, you must be talking to them. Whoa. It's some a little bit is in there. If you could fact that, I'm telling her like, nah, like I ain't responding to nobody, right? Because my whole focus is on you. I've been said that they distractions. What I need to go see what they talking about for if I love you, if I'm into you. So yeah, so I had to edit the video, but no, it was real though. She feels some type of way about them DMs and I had to show her like.
So basically, girls DM, you get DMs from girls, and she doesn't like it.
And
Right,
I was in that video.
he brings it up, like he uses it. He brought it up as a way to validate that he's actually for me. Like I don't want to hit. I literally told him, I was like, I don't want to hit that. We sitting down at my birthday dinner, and you bringing up how some baddies in your DM. Like okay, but I'm.
So what did he say? He said he got baddies in his DM, but he only wants you.
But he's only focused on me, right? They all.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
No,
like, but just like I don't want to hear about people in your DM.
I think he was saying that to show you how much he really does like you. Like, yeah. I've got all these girls in here, but I'm not paying them no mind. Like,
and I genuinely believe that he was doing it that way as well too, because you can see the way he's stressing. No, you can see the way he's stressing. I'll tell you this now. You can see the way he's stressing. You know that. Listen, you can see the way he's stressing. That I don't think he meant to do it that way. And if he was a calculated person, he's not giving calculated here. This is not a calculated person. Right? I'm not saying that he can't be calculated. I'm saying this ain't given calculated. This is given raw emotion. And that's on both sides, by the way. Neither of them are free. So what's happened in this situation is this, right? A situation where he thinks, and again, remember I say this about, people need to often sometimes understand that people are not going to process things the same, okay? Here's the reality of the situation. When he was showing her the DMs, okay, he was doing it in a way of, hey, yo, you know what? I'm not responding to any of these girls. Here's my evidence that I have other baddies. Now, maybe in the back of his mind also, there's a part of it that was also thinking to himself, I do get girls, you know, but I'm telling you that I'm not doing nothing with these girls, bro. These girls mean nothing to me. I'm not even replying to these messages. So you can go through it and look at it. Remember that in the earlier on the video, in part 1, we talked about this, he said, let me see your Instagram. So he's happy to show his Instagram. Okay, he's very open to show that kind of thing. I don't think she's as open, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong. It means that these two, the way that they interact, is causing friction. Okay. So now, when he's seeing when they're seeing obviously the DMs, she's reading it as he's trying to you know, basically humble me in a sense, or in a sense of maybe say, you know, in a sense of, you know, he's trying to play me, or by saying he gets baddies, and that's why. So I get that point too, right? I actually get her point. I don't think her point is wrong at all. Again, it comes down to meaning. Oh, sorry. It comes down to meaning. It comes down to, what do you apply a meaning to this, right? Because he might have been trying to tell her, listen, at the end of the day, I do get girls, but I only want you. That's how it looks like in his head. But that doesn't mean that's how it translates. Okay? That does not mean that's how it translates to the other party. So again, this requires, open-ended conversation about how we're actually feeling about it, and stating to say, you know what, when you showed me that, can't lie to you, the way I'm feeling about it, it feels like you're trying to dig at me, or you're trying to someone said it, triangulate or whatever, right? You know, so that's a main thing.
Like, you're my focus.
Exactly. And the reason why I did The reason why I have to do that, because she's an overthinker. Jojo, are you an overthinker? Yes or no?
You ain't gotta do all that. I know I am. Yeah.
Okay then.
Now let's pause it. She is an overthinker, but you're an overanalyzer. And the part that he doesn't realize is he also is somebody who doesn't realize, that he also has problems he's bringing to the relationship, because he's so one track. He's so one track. He thought to himself, I've loved her, I've cared for her, I've put her on dates, but does not realize that his energy that he brings to the table can also cause the other person to be destabilized. And that's where, in a relationship, why I say to people, you're not better than the person you're in a relationship with. Sometimes you don't realize that even your behavior comes off the other person and can trigger them. And when they do their behavior, you're triggered by their behavior. You don't realize you're not better than them. If you're getting triggered by their behavior, you ain't no better than them. You're in the same boat as them. And so really and truly, it requires us to actually go, hey, can I be honest with you? I'm triggered right now by what you're doing. This makes me feel like this. And they need to be open too and say, look, it's triggering me to make me feel the way that you're feeling this way too.
Yeah, right? And then what did you say? I'm going to need some reassurance, right? So that's me reassuring you, let you know you good. I'm not about to play with you.
So, guys, when Julius at the catch-up made you the girlfriend, you know, at that point, both of you, there should be no communication with any exes, right?
Correct.
At the end of the day, we're all adults. Nobody likes to be in a situation where they're thinking, what's happening over there? So, Jojo, did you have attachments to any of the guys that he's talking about?
No. And I know you mentioned like not talking to.
Be 100, bro.
Wait, what?
Be 100. Don't lie. You wanted to come on here. Don't lie. Keep it 100. He just asked you, did you have any attachment to anybody you were dealing with? Keep it 100, bro. Please.
No. People I was dating, like no,
like you two, because you two was basically.
He's just an animated person. I don't really even see anything wrong with it. He's just an animated person. He's an animated person. So when he's hurt, he's animated. You know. So I understand that too, right? I get that perspective.
Exclusive, right? You two are together in a relationship. Now he's saying that there's some guys popping up. So obviously in his head, he's thinking, what's happening? So was there stuff happening?
No guys have popped up. Sorry, because no guys have popped up.
Oh my God.
So Julius, you saw a message specifically from one of her exes, like to make you think this, or it was just because like she turned off her notifications, or like what's like making you truly believe this?
She's talking about she had no attachments, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I found out she was dealing with somebody, remind you, I thought she wasn't in that serious with somebody since 2016. So she's saying the dude, week before the show, he was a situationship. So if somebody's a situationship, your feelings ain't gonna be involved with them, right? So they just something a fling or whatever. Y'all went on a couple dates. I did what y'all did. Cool. You ain't gonna have no emotions. You're not gonna be emotionally attached to that person. So boom. She okay. So boom. She go to work, and I'm already. This is when we barely meet and stuff. So I'm already letting her know like, hey, anything you want to talk to me, good, bad, or whatever, you can talk to me about anything. Like that's how like I'm an open person. You talk to me about anything. So like cool. She at work. She would have one of her little side jobs. She hit me, was like, I'm feeling uneasy. Talk to me, what's going on? Remember when I told you when I was in a dark place? So she talking in riddles now. I'm like, get into details, what you talking about? So I'm like, I said, oh boy. She's like, I'm gonna call you when I get on my break. Get on her break or whatever. I guess the dude broke up with her or whatever. And she felt some type of way. Or they broke up, whatever, she felt some type of way. So she was at work crying about the situation. I'm like, if he just a situationship, why are you crying over this boy? So I'm like, it really wasn't adding up. So I'm like, okay, it's more serious than what it was. And then she ended up telling me like, okay, she wanted a family, she wanted to be married, she wanted, you have kids and all that. But then like she's 31, she's not married, she ain't got no kids, so she over here thinking like it's her type shit. I'm telling her it ain't her, it's just the dudes you choosing. I'm like, man, I'm right for you. Like, let's work things out. She boo crying, but I'm like, damn, if he a situationship, why you crying over this man? So that's an attachment, right? Y'all broke up with the situation, then you come on the show a week later.
So this particular aspect, right? I understand what she was saying. Okay, I understand what she was saying, and I also understand what he was saying. I understand what both of them are saying. First of all, I get what she's gonna say, which is that for her, she had a situationship, and in the situationship, she felt when that situation ended, she felt some type of way about the situation. Now, the thing that's confusing here is how the feeling bled into the relationship. You get what I'm saying to you? How did that bleed into the relationship? Now I get her perspective, because for her, in her situation, she's actually crying about the fact that she isn't married, she's 31, she has no kids, she's crying about general aspect of her life and the relationship. The problem is that you are crying about this after seemingly the situation that a situation that you're in right now. And so that also will be a trigger for the other person, especially if they're not secure. It's going to be a trigger because they're going to put, wait, hold on a minute. Why is that guy making you feel like you're not going to have, you like making you feel about kids, when I'm now dating you? So you shouldn't even feel sad because you have hope again. I'm your hope. I'm now dating you. You're saying it's good. You're telling me that, you want to be, we're in a relationship. I can see how the confusion can work on both sides here. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to relationships and how people do stuff and don't realize the impact on both sides. Because I get what she was trying to say, really, is like, as a general principle, I get it. But the question is, if you was just a situationship, why is that making you think? If you're single, it's fine, because by all means, if you felt that way about general, but it's the fact that you had another man, and then you're crying about not having kids, being married, but it's based upon the fact that that last situation kind of sent you there. And that's what he's being triggered by.
Later.
Yeah, Jojo.
Is that not an attachment or not? If you crying over a boy,
First of all, I see when we had that conversation, I still see you didn't really like understand what I was saying. I even told you, I'm like, you're giving this man too much power. It's not about him. Again, that was a short-lived dating. It's not like I was in love with the man. What he's saying, it's not like I wanted a family with him. It's not like I wanted a family with him and kids, marriage, and all that with him. Like I didn't. It didn't even get to in general. It didn't get to that point for me to even feel like, oh yeah, he's the one. And now I'm sad about it because it's not working out. No, the whole first of all, I wasn't at work boohoo crying, but it was the thought that it was the whole general like aspect of. And first of all, I cut him off. It wasn't he broke up with me. There was no breaking up. We weren't in a relationship. But I cut him off, and it was just like I had a revelation. Like, oh my gosh, is this not gonna work out for me? Like I was sad about the fact. I still wasn't crying because you were doing most. But I was sad about the fact that like, dang, like it got to be me. Like it's not working out. I do want to be married. I do want to have kids. Was I talking about that specific person? No, I'm reflecting now on my whole dating experience. Period.
So can
I hear it, sis. I actually do. I do. She's reflecting on her whole experience. But the problem is the problem with that situation is this, that you have a man that wants you. So if you are feeling like, you know what, I want to be married, I want to have kids, the person's right in front of you right now saying to you that they want that, they would want that with you. That we just heard a man say we heard a man say a month ago on the show that he wants to make you his girlfriend and he wants to marry you. He wants to make you wife. So that is where we're having an issue. So the reality of the situation is she hasn't been all the way honest with the situation. Now, again, like I said, it's on both sides, but she has unfortunately played a part in this, and that's what's caused the issue. Because there was some level of attachment enough to cause you to a point where you're not even looking at the person in front of you anymore. And this is why I'm saying that when we look at the relationships, if you try to choose a side, you're more than likely going to fail. And do you know what, Dahlia? That is a great point. That is a great point. And again, it comes back to this, and not even just that. Listen, I mean, look, when you're in the early doors, of course, of hearing about past relationships and stuff, right? It does happen that some people have to do some back work sometimes, that someone might say, listen, there's some issues about, but there are conversations, like you said, that are not meant for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like, we all know that if you just broke up with somebody recently, maybe there may be some lingering effects from that relationship if you're in a new one, right? You may know the person in front of you is the right person for you, but you probably don't want to spoil that conversation by saying, hey, I still miss my ex. Leave that for your friend. Leave that one for your friend. Okay? Leave that one for your friend and use your friend to be able to have those kind of conversations until you've worked it out. Just because it is very tough for anybody, man or woman. Imagine me telling a girl that, you know what, I still miss my ex, can't lie to you. I'm working through it, but I still miss my ex. Now, whilst I said that we should be transparent about everybody, if you haven't built the arena very well, that's going to make people crumble. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I said talk about your emotions. I didn't say talk about the fact you miss an ex. That's not even bad, but it's just a case of, again, that's a conversation for a friend. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah.
Can I, sorry to cut you, can I ask you both, what do you both think that you both did wrong?
Now, this is interesting.
To get to this point.
Right.
Like, what would you take accountability for to cause you guys to get to this point for both of you? That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
They both thinking.
That shit crazy. I ain't even about to do that. All right, so basically with me, I could have just basically been more understanding to the situation.
Yeah.
Been way more understanding. Yeah, I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just say that.
Okay. What about for you, Jojo?
All right, old boy looks hurt. I can't lie to you. He's definitely hurt. He thought she was a one. This brother, no. We have to give men a bit more leniency as well, man. Because every time we talk about men and their feelings and how they get hurt, unless the person cheated or literally was a psychopath, it's very difficult to us to empathize with men. He's hurt. He's hurt. The man is very, very hurt. Very, very hurt by the situation. I can see that. Right? Because even if it was a response here and the way that he's even rubbing his face and his nose tells me the brother's really, really hurt. I'm not going to laugh at you when you're down. Like, do you know what I'm saying to you? You know, in that respect, you know? Yeah.
I feel like where I went wrong or like what I did wrong.
Nothing.
Now, that's not going to help you, bro. I get that you feel like she is... I get that you feel like, you know, that she may not have been all the way honest, but every time you make a comment, a side comment, a little snippet comment, it doesn't help your case. Let her have her point. She's not adding the ad-lib, so stop adding the ad-lib. Okay? Right? The ad-lib is showing the immaturity again. Okay? And that's the problem. Okay?
She thinks she's perfect, y'all. She don't do nothing wrong.
I feel like how I like communicate or even if there was a lack of communication where I didn't do enough to like help him understand where I was at as in regards to whatever, I don't know, he was thinking was wrong or thinking was like the outside stuff going on that he might have been concerned about. And I don't know, I think I also like probably could have stood a little firmer in us actually taking it slow, like because I did like him and he saying all the good things and I'm like, period, this is what I've been looking for. So I wanted to make sure I didn't mess up with him. I feel like I should have kind of stood on like taking it slow because I think we was moving kind of quick.
And there we go. Alas, there we go. That is the bingo. And so I'm going to go back to this to say this again. Right? She hit something on the nail very heavily. Instead of communicating that she needs things to slow down, she made passive... Listen, all the things that he talked about are passive-aggressive movements. Right? And so instead of actually communicating that, there are indications of certain behaviors that are indicating passive-aggressive movements. Right? To try and slow it down. Rather than just being assertive and saying, hey, I feel like we should slow it down a little bit. You know, we're going a bit fast. And then when the ride is going too fast, people are like, I'm breaking apart. Because it's too much. Okay? And so the reality of the situation is, as she pulled away, here's what's also going to happen. As she pulls away, as she does things that are passive-aggressive to kind of, you know, slow the ride down a little bit, he's also feeling rejection. And again, it is about how both parties actually handle the negative aspect of the relationship. And that's why I said both of them are wrong. Because just because she, right, he's having reactions now, and we're seeing, I like to say, the immaturity. Okay, we're seeing all of that, right? And also the immaturity can be in not saying anything and not talking. Okay, all right. And so in that space, right? In that space, what you're gonna do is that you're both going to sabotage a relationship, right? And yeah, right, I said maybe he did feel some way about it being slowed down, but it's not about slow down. It's about what he adds as a meaning to it, which is I'm adding what you're saying, bitch. I'm adding to what you're saying, Elsid. So adding to what you're saying, the slowdown isn't the issue. The issue is what meaning are you applying to it, and usually it is rejection. And so if you apply rejection on it, rather than having a conversation saying, hey, when you're slowing it down, I don't even lie. It's made me feel a little bit some type of way. Like, do you still want this? Instead of doing a check-in, instead of doing a whole check-in, a whole, let's see where we're going to, that is where we're falling down. Because he also needed to be like, hey, you're slowing it down a little bit. We're slowing it down a little bit. Can I just tell you how I'm feeling right now? Because I'm feeling like I'm being a little bit rejected here. Is it that you're just slowing it down, or is it that you don't want a relationship anymore? Asking questions again, and it's one of the hardest things to do. I am not going to lie to you. I am liable to crash out myself, so I know what it looks like. You know what I'm saying to you? And my crash out isn't necessarily that I'm going to do what he did. My crash out is I'm ready to go. See, we talk about how people crash out. And most of the time we talk about people crashing out the way he's crashing out. No. Crashing out is also sliding out of the relationship. Crashing out is avoiding. Crashing out is the ghosting. Crashing out is you not actually talking. Crashing out is the passive aggressive behaviors we use. They're all crashing out. You're all crashing out. Okay? They're all crashing out. They're all crash out behaviors. So as she said herself, she liked him and he liked her. So where's it gone wrong? We haven't had a conversation. We haven't had a conversation. And so I don't need to choose a side to say whose fault it is. I could just say to you, there are faults on both sides, and relationships require two to get into it, and it requires oftentimes one person to break it and say they're done and it's over. But usually you'll find out that two people are involved in the situation. So she might have been ready for a relationship, but do you know what it is? Her fears got the better of her, and she did not have the language nor the skills to be able to say, let's slow it down a little bit. She didn't have the boundaries to say, let's slow it down a little bit. She also might have been afraid that if she slows it down, that's the end of the ride. And so he also too, not communicating that, is also now being hurt from it.
With everything.
So, okay. So the whole photo situation was the last thing that caused you guys to like break up. That was like the camel, or what is it? What do they say? The straw, the camel that broke. Whatever, you know the phrase.
Yeah.
Was that the last thing for you guys, or what caused us to be at this point now?
Nah, necessarily. I really wasn't tripping about the photo part. 'Cause it is what it is. Like, that's how you want to move. That's how you want to move. Like, you don't want to be modest. You want to show your body. You think that's cute. Do you, boo boo? But as far as like me, it was just like certain things that was just building up. I'm like, damn. It's just like, bro, my cup is empty. Like, I don't have nothing else to pour into it. Like, I'm like this. It's hard to try to make somebody happy that's not happy within themselves. Why you say that, Jules? How you know that? Because I ask questions. That's all I do is ask questions. I ask her like, what are some things you would obtain in life to where you feel like your life is complete, to where you will feel happy? A family, marriage, those things. She didn't have those things. So it's like boom. It's like she wake up mad, and it's just like, bro, I'm not no negative person. I'm always waking up happy. I'm trying to cheer her up. Like, I'm so damn happy, bro. It make her mad that I'm happy. She like damn, get your happy ass down, little goofy ass nigga. I'm like, damn, like, I'm just trying to love you. I'm just trying to shower you with love. But it's just like, bro, it's just like she don't know how to receive love. I just want somebody that know how to receive love. Like, like we all go through things in life. Like, we all need love. We all need a hug. So it's just like, man, it's just like, man, my cup empty. I ain't got nothing else to pour.
So you're saying it was draining?
Draining.
Okay.
And this is a key part where he has to be accountable. Okay? All right? Where he needs to be accountable is this. When your cup is empty, you got to be accountable because you've been pouring it out the whole entire time. And we need to look at the fact that, have we been having the right kind of conversations to be able to get our cup filled? What do you need for your cup to be filled? Okay? What do you need for your cup to be filled? Because relationships like this happen all the time. We talked about this with Tia Mowry, right? With Tia Mowry, and it's an anxious trait. Anxious people tend to do this. They tend to have their cup empty. Them and fearful avoidance. Dismissives, their cup ain't going to be empty because the cup was never filled in the first place. But fearful avoidance and anxious people, this is them. Because they're always in a place of trying to earn love. And their earning of love puts them in a place of servitude and them always pouring into other people. The problem with that is that because they're trying to earn, the more that you pull away from them, the more they're pulling. The more you put away from them, the more they're wanting. The more that you do with them, the more they're going towards you. And after a while, you realize you're empty. Do you see what I'm saying to you? And so that consistent pouring out is a trait of, like I said, usually anxious people. And that can be also fearful avoidance because they have that side of them as well. Especially if they're dealing with a DA. They'll feel like they've been pouring into that DA, and that DA keeps being avoidant. But the reality is they don't realize they're on a hamster wheel. The reason why you keep pouring into them is because they keep running away, and you're trying to attain them by pouring in. Right? So what you don't realize is that when people are on this hamster wheel attachment issues, okay, I think she's more dismissive. I think he's actually a very anxious person. I don't think he realizes. I think he's more anxious, potentially even fearful avoidant, if you want to call it that. But as she was more avoidant, he was more anxious. As she became more avoidant and he was more anxious, he was having to end up chasing to try and pour into her. But the more he did that, the more she ran. And all it really needed was a conversation about, how do I make you feel safe? I'm not feeling safe.
Yeah, so Jojo.
As far as my last little bit, the fact that since meeting him matching on August 10th up until the final time of him cutting me off on Sunday, I have not truly felt like secure, because Sunday was the 5th time of him like breaking up or like cutting me off. So
wait, hold a minute. So he cut you off 5 times. You know what? I've been here before, so I already know what this feeling is. I know this. I know. And I had to come to this realization. It does take 2 to tango. Absolutely. But let's talk. I want to talk from a man's perspective, okay? That I've dealt with something like this, and I know exactly what this is. I done that. Even that breakup aspect, it hit me hard. I was like, oh, I remember that moment. Here's what it is. All that's happening is he has betrayed himself. Here's what he's betraying himself. He's not set strong boundaries from the jump. And when I say strong boundaries, what I mean by that is setting your culture, your standards, and your rules. Once I learned this, I said, damn, I really should have done that and applied that in my life a bit more. What that means is this. You have a baseline for behaviors you're willing to accept, right? So on a day-to-day basis, your culture is built up by your rules, your standards, and that makes your culture. The rules are your, don't shout at me. I won't shout at you. I need somebody who can be consistent. I need somebody who can talk to me. I need someone who can open up to me, right? Those are rules that lead into standards, okay? They lead into standards about how, when things go wrong, how do we handle it then, right? If you do break the rules, what's the standard? The standard is, okay, well, actually, if you break the rule in this aspect, you know what? Here's what, I'm going to have a conversation with you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, right? Those make up the standards, right? And then we got a culture. Your culture is what you do. It becomes your ethos. The standards and the rules make your whole ethos, how you walk, move through life. And it encapsulates in how you do everything. Now, when you don't impress that on somebody, right, and you don't actually stand strong, okay, all right, Nicole, nobody said that she's the only issue. They're both the issue. Where did you get she's the only issue? They're both the issue. That's what we've been saying the whole entire time. They're both the issue. So in this situation, right, when you look at the situation that this how it's playing out, he keeps breaking up with her because he's actually not actually implementing his actual culture. And because he's betraying himself. Oh, okay. Sorry, Nicole. I apologize. My bad. Sorry, Nicole. My bad. I thought you were talking to me. So because he's betraying himself in that space, he's going to keep breaking up with her. I came to this realization. I said, damn, it's me. No. Listen. If she's not fitting the culture and she's not sticking to the rules and the standards, then what am I supposed to do? Follow protocol. What is protocol? Protocol says the person is not going to give you what you want. Leave. Don't come back. But here's the thing. You come back because you feel like something can change. Or you come back because you were emotionally aroused at the time and you didn't have the resources or the tools to be able to maintain the negative aspect of this relationship. So in that space, what tends to happen is people get triggered, they're emotionally aroused, they make a decision on that and they quit the relationship because that's all they know. If they had the skills and the tools, they'll be able to say, listen, right now we're in a place, I don't like it. I want to continue this relationship, but we're in a dire straits right now. I need to know what's going to make this relationship work. Because what you're really saying is, I'm not getting enough from this relationship. I'm not getting enough from a relationship. And so, because you're not getting enough from a relationship, you don't know how to request more. And because you've not learned the vocabulary and the language to be able to ask for more, your natural tendency is to, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. We've done it 5 times. But 4 times she took you back. They're both the issue. You see what I'm saying to you? Because she wants to be loved, but she also realizes that she's got issues on her side. She realizes, right? And she might be leaning more to the FA side. I can't lie to you. She might be leaning more to the FA side at this point, but who knows? But let's just keep it dismissive as it is, right? She wants to be loved, okay? And so as he comes back, it tells her again, okay, maybe he does want to, maybe he does like me, maybe he really does want me. It confirms that maybe he likes you. But then they have another road bump. Nobody's got the tools to handle the situation, so we've got to pull away. And when I realized that myself, I said, I'm the problem here. I'm the problem because I'm unwilling to eat the whole cake. I'm willing to take breadcrumbs. Can I say that again? Yeah? It's what I'm going to say. Where he can take accountability is this. If he doesn't take accountability, he will have the situation again, right? Don't be willing to have breadcrumbs when you want the cake. Right? You don't want the breadcrumbs. You want the whole entire cake. So when somebody's giving you breadcrumbs, we don't have to accept that. But the fact of the matter is, you accept it because you think it's going to get better. Or 2, you're willing to go along with it until you think you can get what you want. Right? And in reality, the person isn't changing. He is all in and he wants her to be all in, but she's not convinced. And so now he has to pull away. But actually, all it shows is that both of them are a problem because he goes back, she accepts him. Right? He goes back and she accepts him. So both of these parties get something from the relationship that they're actually in. And both of them, when they're triggered, have their behaviors. She may not leave the relationship, but she's just as problematic. And this is what I learned. I started realizing that, no. And this is why I started looking, when I coach clients, when I coach couples, when I coach people, this is exactly what I'm talking about, where I go, you may be coming to me, but both of you are a problem here. You may think I'm coming to solve the issue about your partner. No, you both are a problem. Right? Because what we're going to say is, well, he broke up with her 5 times. Why? Well, she accepted him 4 times. Why? Why? They both like each other, but both do not have the language as of yet to be able to make this relationship work. And so when he's leaning over saying, I want to love you, I want to give you more, she's feeling scared by that love. It's almost too much. It's too heavy. And instead of communicating that it's too heavy for her, she has passive aggressive behaviors that go, I'm going to keep the distance between me and you. But when she does that, he then is triggered. He feels rejected in that moment and then goes into what we see right in front of us now. Right? He might get frustrated. He might get angry. You might see a response that is very volatile. And when I say volatile, again, doesn't mean that you're shouting and screaming, but rather the rise in energy, the hand movements. It seems volatile. Right? And now she doesn't feel safe because in reality, what she wants is to be accepted. Remember, I told you this as well, that too many people, and I was one of them, I can't lie to you, too many people want to be accepted for their rubbish behavior, but you don't realize it. And they will say, look, I just need someone to accept me for who I am. That's not who you are. You're asking me to accept you for your rubbish behavior. Climb up. But here's the reality. I should really leave you. That's the reality. Because what you're telling me is, I should make it safe for you to move mad the way you're moving. Because you are moving mad, right? Still having, attachment to the ex-partner and like you're moving kind of mad, right? Now, some people will tell you, listen, just understand that. I'll say, listen, get out now. Okay? Some people need to get out. Okay, all right. Some of us don't need to be there because you need to let that person grow. Right? She wants to be accepted. And remember I told you about this, Dr. Bryant's quote about hybrid. That's what I'm talking about. Is that nonsense we're talking about? Is that hybrid conversation? It's nonsense. What you're really wanting someone to do is accept you for your absolute rubbish, which listen, we all have traits. Sometimes I'm late. Sometimes, I said, but there are certain behaviors where they are destructive to the relationship. No one should accept that. So when people want people to accept them for they are, some people's behaviors, like accept my stonewalling. Don't accept my stonewalling. Please don't. Don't ever accept my stonewalling. It's abusive. And if I'm here talking to another girl, don't accept that. That's not acceptable behaviors. If she's talking to another man and saying, I'm just flirting, I'm not actually going to do anything with them, don't accept that. It's not a safe space. That's not what we have to deal with. So there are behaviors that both parties can carry that are unacceptable, that should not allow to stay in a stable relationship. You need to grow. And if you're unwilling to do the work to grow, I need to leave. But this is why you need to be able, okay? Nella said, accept my stonewall just a little bit. But now the reality is, okay? But now the reality is, you need to be able to have a conversation, okay? You need to be able to have a conversation and say to a person, hey, I remember I had a partner in the past, and literally she stonewalled me for a day and a bit, and I said to her, listen, look, I don't play those games, the stonewalling games. I don't want to do that, right? If that's what you're gonna do, I don't need to be here. Simple. She didn't do it again. You sometimes and look, when the moment a person does it early, you have to let it know early. Don't play with them. Let them know for the jump. We're not going to do this kind of thing here. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Let people know from the jump. But when he saw the behaviors that she was doing, he couldn't say anything. Remember I told you in part 1, because he couldn't say anything. Oh, a bit of food came out my mouth. Sorry. Because he couldn't say anything in that immediate space, it brought up more frustration and resentment. But if you checked it from early, you'd have had a better result. Because then she would have known, this is the culture, these are the rules, standards, these are his rules. I know he doesn't play around that. But when you betray yourself, when you betray your rules and your standards and your overall culture, this is what's going to happen. I did the exact same thing. I know exactly what it looks like. I did the exact same thing. And here's the reason why you do it. You abandon your rules, your culture, and your standards because you lack worth. You abandon your standards and your rules because you precisely lack worth. You lack worth. What I mean by that is you don't believe you have worth. You have it, but you don't believe it. In fact, you don't have faith in it. So because you don't have faith in your own value and in your own worth, your behaviors are showing us you don't believe in that. That's my little breakdown for you guys. I know it's an hour long, but we're going to leave it there for you guys, all right? So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button. If you want some coaching, I only have emergency slots left. This is the kind of thing we deal with on a regular basis. And then shout out to those of you who've had I think I've had almost like 200, 300 clients in the past couple of months. So listen, look, at the end of the day, I want to let you guys know, that we're here to help as much as people as we can. So if this is something that you need help with, shout me, definitely, as well. Okay, I appreciate you. All right, stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. Much love, much appreciation.